Hey nerds, this is just at the seat, and I just saw. What did I just see? I just saw We Are Your Friends. This is actually happening a little bit more time passed when I usually do these videos. I usually do these videos like probably within 5 minutes of finishing the film. Though in this case, I probably finished it within 15 minutes of finishing the film, approximately. My phone died, but I really wanted to videotape this before, I went about the rest of my life, because even though I do these without editing, there is a little difference between me and the me that creates these. But that's for a vlog. I'll mention that in the vlog. But right now, I want to just talk about the film. And since that's the case, I guess it should be stated that I kind of like Zac Efron. The last film that I seen with him in it was That Awkward Moment, which I thought was great. I thought it was basically the opposite of Bridesmaids. I.e. a chick flick for guys, or a machismo comedy for girls, I guess. Either way, like I said, I'm a fan, so of course I was gonna see this film. But what really makes this film is its message to artists. Because at the end of the day, this is an artist film. This is a film for people who are trying to live out their dreams or fantasize about living out their dreams as an artist. And I think it speaks very much to that, actually. I was very pulled into the film, much more than I thought possible. And I tried to keep myself a little distance from the film, because I felt like, even just after seeing the first trailer, that I was going to be a little biased. But I definitely have to put the disclaimer that I'm pretty biased with this film, being that I am trying to, keep interest in my opinions on YouTube, being that I am a filmmaker, and if this is the first time I've ever mentioned it on this channel, I am also a slam poet. And so there's a lot of fertile ground there for me personally. But I'll try to put that aside for now in general, for how people will generally enjoy this film. People from California will probably love this film. Well, maybe not love this film a lot, but I'll definitely say will have a leg up on some of us that are not from California, because given that I've been living in California for almost 2 years now, there's a lot of stuff that I recognize in terms of geographical places, and mentioning like the San Fernando Valley or something like that definitely has its effect on me. Like, I definitely am like, oh shit, however, that's only a little small part of it. The large of this film, I guess I could say, is definitely the difference between being authentic and being a sellout. Zac Efron's character really wants to break it into the music industry by way of being a DJ. The film even breaks down DJing to this is how you control the crowd sort of mentality. Although if anyone feels like that's not great, or that's kind of like fake in terms of people who've already seen the movie, I will definitely say that as someone who has talked to and met a bunch of MCs and am very cultured in certain aspects of auditory artistry, I think it hits the nail on the head in terms of what is expected or should be expected in terms of what is, what's the word I'm looking for, modern. For people who use the internet, who, you know, to Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all over YouTube and just trying to keep up with current events that way, it's very interesting in terms of a cultural perspective. And maybe I'm being like a little big-headed right now, but I feel like this film probably hasn't gotten its props. It did come out at the end of the summer, so lots less of people are paying attention to it. But I definitely think that if you consider yourself an artist, and you consider yourself an artist that is trying to make a living, not doing something that you absolutely hate, then seeing We Are Your Friends is a benefit to you, although it might be preaching to the choir. I'll talk about themes mostly, but in terms of the film itself and not what you might get out of it, I definitely think that it's definitely not what most people are used to if you see a lot of studio films, because it is mostly handheld, if not continuously handheld. By that I mean that there are probably no shots with a tripod in this film, so it's a very, very shaky cam. But given the story it's trying to tell, it works beautifully for it, because anyone within the ages of, I don't know, I want to say maybe 26, 27 and under, as far as you're mature at least, then it definitely speaks to a culture that if you're not a part of, that you at least are aware of. By that I mean DJing, partying, drinking, drugs, the whole nine. And if that's outside of your realm of visibility, then that's okay. And I don't think that that should negate you from enjoying the film. But there's a lot of this film that particularly spoke to me in terms of being an artist, in terms of being pretty young. There's actually a part where it's like, oh, you're 23? You haven't even lived long enough to know what living means, essentially. And I pretty much use Zac Efron as my proxy, you know, in a lot of ways. And this film is this video is getting really long. I'm already at 8 minutes, and I try to keep these videos short if I can, about 4 minutes. But I've been seeing a lot of films recently that have been pushing me a lot and making me want to say a lot of what I want to say about the world, I guess, as I see it through film. But I won't make this too much longer. So, what else is relevant for the film? It's pretty quotable. I think it's pretty inspiring. I've already quoted it once. Could we be doing more? Should we be doing more? I feel like the task of building up this film to be like the highest possible before elevating it so much that if you see it, you're going to be super disappointed because I built it up so much, is kind of daunting. But I will say that I honestly, as opposed to some other films I've reviewed recently, I don't know what the reception has generally been. So I feel a little bit more free to say, see this movie. Definitely see this movie if anything I've said has interested you so far. And it's delicious and it's sound. And I think that sometimes we forget about the fact that film is all-encompassing of your senses, or of the two senses of sight and sound. So I'll definitely say that it takes a huge amount of energy from its sound. I'll definitely say that seeing this movie with subtitles, you know, with no sound, for example, if you happen to be deaf, for example, would really, really, really suck. And I will also say that also attributes to seeing it in a theater as opposed to seeing it on your phone or on your computer is actually a big difference in how you'll probably internalize the film, because there's a lot of parts where it's generally you and the film and how you feel about it in terms of energy and sound. And you see I'm gyrating. I was dancing a little bit in the film in my seat. If you don't know how it feels or looks to dance while you're also in your seat, I think you need to go on YouTube, which you're already on probably if you're looking at this video, and see people dancing with their hands. However, I've already been going for about 11 minutes, which is longer than probably any video for just out the seat that I've done. And I guess I'll leave you here. But I will say again, sound great. If you're a music lover, for sure, check this out if you get a chance. Other than that, I think that generally it's a great film that's very realistic in its approach, even if the things that happen with the characters aren't as expected if you were just living your life. Other than that, I hope you nerds have a great weekend, and as always, have a great weekend, even though I just said that twice.